Hi folks, here we are at the Club Motorsport. We're fortunate enough to have a test track facility that we can use so we can test this vehicle, brand new car, on pavement before Mount Washington next week, or is it 2 weeks from now. So I'd like to make sure that I get my brain back onto pavement, get the car set up for pavement, and find out if we're going to have any little problems, car fires or whatnot. So this is the best place to do it. I'm very excited about actually testing this car after working on it for almost a year now. Don't be scared. No, actually, you want to be scared. If you can want to stay here and wait, you can. Temperatures or anything?
The rear diff oil temperature went to negative 268, so it's defaulted somehow either out of range or something. That
did it go up and up and up and then drop right off?
Yeah, now it's back to 188.
That's the oil, but that's all right because
that's not. Yeah, that's rear diff oil temp,
and that's Fahrenheit.
Yes.
So that's within its limits. It didn't flip out. What about the PTU cooler?
The highest I saw was 194.
Like the water temperature.
Yep.
What else are we worried about? The regular oil temperature, that went up, but that didn't go beyond the limit. The regular water temperature stayed good. Well, basically I just wanted to run it through a couple tests. The first one was make sure everything stayed cool and that the mode switch stayed in, so I could run it in drift mode around there, even though I wasn't driving it very hard. It stayed into the drift mode. I think where if you make a mistake and you change things too much, you'll end up getting the check engine light on, which it didn't come on, or you'll have the all-wheel drive off, which it didn't happen. So I mean, our first test was like, I was expecting the check engine light to come on and we'd be here all day chasing a wire. So I'm happy already about that. The restrictor that I have in here, because I'm trying to make this a rally car inevitably, I need a restrictor. Well, that takes a lot of the fun out of it, because anything, when you have a restrictor, it's affected with airflow and RPM. So with that correlation, anything over 4,000 RPM seems kind of flat now. It used to be quite a little freight train, but now it's, you know, you got to keep the revs a lot lower, so which will work fine for rally, but for some of these places you really need to let it spin. So another thing I discovered, I can pretty much shift without the clutch in every gear. I'm so happy that I could brake hard and shift down without the clutch. So the transmission feels right. I can match the revs. So yeah, I mean, every test we do, I get more excited, and I see that this test is showing so far that this is quite a package we have here, and we're just going to make a lot more adjustments and play around with it, and we'll see. We got another couple hours to try to see if we can get some improvements. I know that the suspension is set at fairly soft for gravel, so I'm gonna try to raise that up, and I'm probably gonna put the rear sway bar on, and then I'm gonna make one change at a time and see what the effect is, because of course the next race is pavement, so we're gonna make sure that the car drives really well and I get used to it, and it's predictable. You can make something faster, but if it's not predictable, you don't really want to use that at Mount Washington. There's not really enough room for error. You're gonna read that. I don't think we need it, but you know it's there. So we're gonna put the sway bar on the back, which in the past I try to run without a sway bar to see what the handling is, and then after I'm happy with making all the other adjustments, then I just add the sway bar. It's always been a stock car racing way of set the car up without the sway bar. Don't try to rely on the sway bar for handling. So now I'm realizing that on tarmac, on pavement, this particular car, I think it's going to do a lot better with sway bar. I think they thought this through and realized you need the sway bar for it to handle right on pavement. So we're going to try that. Nothing else.
Doesn't seem to be, no.
You're happy?
Yep.
All right, we're done then. Good work. Thank you. Thank you very much. So one of the things I know, on the Mount Tune, we use the Cobb access port in the Mount Tune, and we run the 93 octane tune, and I'm just running straight pump gas, and what I found, you know, the amount of torque that we get with running the tune on pump gas, it's amazing to see. But what's happening with this is, even though I've gotten all this power, I went ahead and put a restrictor in to make it legal. So now I've lost some of that top end. So when I shift down, because of the restrictor, I have to keep the revs down. Now if I'm running around 3,000 to 4,000 RPM, it pulls the same even with the restrictor. So I now know that where I'm at with this rev range, so maybe I can go back to Mount Tune and say, okay, because I have a restrictor, can you make that adjustment? And then I will copy on this, send them an email, they will check it out, look at the readings that I've captured today, and then they will send me another file with another tune that may work better with the restrictor. So I'm very happy with Mountoon, and once again, Mountoon's always been my favorite with Fords because they've been doing this for over 30 years, and they're very conservative. So even though what I was just doing was on 93 octane, I had power, but I didn't worry about the reliability. So that's what I'm very happy that we didn't have any lean out conditions. I know some of the tuners out there probably claim they can get more power, but unless you've been doing it for 30 years, I'm not sure I trust anybody else.